No, haven't they? Okay, so the engines are making their way out of the arena now. Do just be aware of them as they make their way back up to their positions. They're very large. The drivers don't always have the amount of forward visibility they could do with. So just be aware, but enjoy seeing these engines on the move. And like I said, if you want to know anything about them, do speak to the exhibitors. They'll be only too pleased. You don't just own an engine, it's a way of life, and most people, not always me, but most people will be quite happy to talk to you about them when they're parked up on the showground. One, two, 1, 2. So you see the Marshall engine there doing a little bit of backwards and forwards on pulling off. With a single cylinder engine, the crank has to be in the right position in order for the engine to run forwards. Obviously there's a dead centre at each end of the crank at the front and the back. And if it's in the wrong quarter, especially on a 4-shaft engine like that, where the flywheel goes backwards as you go forwards, as you can see on Neil's Clayton there, you've got to move it away from the nearest dead centre before that will run either forwards or backwards. So that's something to be aware of with a single cylinder engine. With a compound engine, there's a little brass button and you can just give that a little tap and that puts a little bit of steam across into the other cylinder and just creeps the crank round. So anyone can look smooth and sophisticated driving a compound engine, but an old single takes a little bit more skill. There's Natal on his Wallace. If you look on the side here, you'll see all the little plaques from all the rallies Natal's been to in his long career of rallying. Like I said, ever since 1965, when he brought the old girl off the side of the road in Lavenham in a completely derelict condition that had sunk 6 inches in the ground. So there we are. You can't have a proper Norfolk rally without Natal. Some people look at all these foul engines like Percy here and they wonder why they look different to all the others. There's something about it, I don't know whether you can work it out. The front wheels are actually set under the boiler rather than under the smoke box on nearly every other engine you got here. And the idea of that was, it gave you a shorter wheelbase so that you could shunt easier in and out of a tight stackyard. Because sometimes when you were going in winter into farmyards to thresh the stacks of corn, there wouldn't be a great deal of room to shunt the threshing tackle about. So Fowles decided to tackle that by moving the axle back. Of course, in ordinary running, it makes no difference to the engine at all. So the Burrell engine, Mr. Plum's Burrell, if you look at that as it comes past, as it comes out the arena, you can see there's a band just above the back wheel where that gear's whirling round. That's a brake band. That's what you've got to rely on when you're going downhill. There's no air brakes and fancy pedals on these things.
I'm used to it.
No, Century still hasn't run out of steam. The oldest Burrell traction engine, this one, spent its whole life no more than a day steaming from Thetford. Imagine spending your whole life that close to Thetford. I'm sure it's a lovely place. There's another engine carrying a full set of spuds because Matt's expecting it to rain later, and he's going to put all them on to get out the gate and take it home. He's got it all sussed. So it's an interesting old engine. It's got a few different features on it to the later ones. But do go up and have a good look at it when it's parked up on its peg.
It's still probably not carried away. Like the devil's percent, but he's
They come the more boat, no?